NyanCave.
Hey, hi, welcome.
Hello. Sorry for my lateness. I was watching the games come. But we're here now.
I'm going to rate you up after this.
I know.
Hi, hello. It's
hello.
Wednesdays, my dudettes.
Oh, it is. And I forgot to make this go like this. Boop. Wednesday.
Boop, Wednesday. Nice. One quick thing before we start. There is a link in the description to a community post where we're doing a poll to figure out which game we're going to play in between Ace Attorney Chronicles and number 2. They're all some fairly short games. Really shouldn't be more than 2 weeks, I think. But some really good options there, like such as
Some really good options.
A Link to the Past or Lego Lord of the Rings or
Lego Lord of the Rings. We're gonna be the Lord of the Rings channel that we all knew we should be.
Also Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, and also the plus is plus Sonic Adventure because those are really short games.
Plus Sonic Adventure 1.
Yeah. Doki Doki Literature Club and Sonic. I've never played Portal 2, the single player campaign.
I played Portal 2. I love Portal 2. It's one of my favorite games.
Yeah, there's some other stuff on there. So yeah, there's a link to that if you want to check it out. It's pretty cool. But without further ado, we can get back to court.
Back to court. I was gonna make a third Impact thumbnail,
Mario Sunshine. Oh yeah,
but I didn't.
nice.
Because we have the third bullet now. So I was gonna make a third Impact, third bullet situation.
Okay, I left this off in a place where I felt like I couldn't fuck it up.
We have to do the bullet thing where one of them says, I'd be convinced if only there were another bullet. There she is.
Yes. Hold it!
I can prove it!
I can prove it! Allow me to show you then the third bullet. Maybe it's this photograph.
It could be that photograph, though. Gee, I wonder what we could be. What we could choose
here.
I don't understand.
And yes, Yakuza 2 very soon, probably Sunday.
Very soon.
Check.
Take that!
Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes. On the night in question in Windibank's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired.
What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet?
It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch.
What?
This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to hospital. And since then, it's been touched by no one.
Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin brothers that night?
Yes. As your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch.
But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print.
Oh! 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted to the court record as evidence.
Yes, that of Mr. Windibank and that belonging to the Skulkin brothers.
And examining both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. But that must mean... That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the scene. Until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Oh, shot through the heart. It's okay, he's a vampire. Wait. No, he might not be.
Order! Order! While this summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination. By Jupiter!
What?
Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once!
Oh, he's sweating.
Quick name time before we start. Villain is a play on villain, and Bolshevik is likely a reference to the Bolsheviks, a radical, far-left, revolutionary Marxist faction from Russia.
TBD!
His Japanese name is Dmitry Demiglaski. Dmitry is a stereotypical Russian name, but Demiglaski comes from demi-glace, a type of sauce. Two halves.
That
Very
feels
interesting. TBD.
substantially more random.
Right. Maybe it'll all
Thanks,
make sense
TBD.
eventually.
Witnesses,
Governor!
were you listening to the proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination?
Oh, we was, Governor, we was!
Perhaps we can dispense with the tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A third bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that?
I make of it, Gov. I don't make nothing of it.
Is it one of yours?
God blimey, Gov! God blimey, not a chance!
In that case, did you have an accomplice?
What, eh? What? Never! The Skulkin brothers work alone.
It's just the two of us! That's our trademark! How soon we forget poor Sulky.
Only 2 bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The third bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it?
Oh, lummy. That's an head scratcher.
Counsel for the defense,
Yes?
I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The third bullet and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came.
Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear what this third bullet tells us about the Skulkin brothers.
They had a secret accomplice. Or it has nothing to do with them. Or they had another gun. I mean, all of these options are plausible.
I know. Luckily, there's no penalty for it. I'm wondering if some of them are funny, though. I think secret accomplice is the most wrong.
You think it's the most wrong? I think it's the most right.
Because they straight up said it. I know that we can't believe anything they say, but it makes sense. I'm gonna go with secret accomplice and just see if it's funny if we get some sulky lines. On that night at Windibank's Pawn Brokery, the brothers must have been working with a third man. The witnesses are clearly doing their best to cover up the existence of this accomplice. But the evidence all points to the fact that there was someone else present. Someone carrying the gun. Crap, I think it's right.
I told you. I say you. I say you it's a secret accomplice.
Uh-oh.
An accomplice, you say? Pigs will.
Fly?
Yeah, pigs, like, it's...
I know.
Yeah.
Swim.
Yeah.
But pigs will fly.
Pigs will fly.
These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there has been not a murmur of a third man. If this apparently wraith-like being exists, the court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. The prosecution demands answers. Firstly, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly, the identity of this spurious character.
The Skulkins are lying. I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding?
Well, counsel,
I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal the person's identity even. In response to the prosecution's demands, my lord, the defense is...
ready to present answers. Probably.
I love this game. I love these characters.
Those
I love you
Oh.
dearly.
Oh.
I'm here quickly to share my love. Resuming playing the second game now.
Hey,
Super Potato!
Thank you.
I love this game as well.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I think we are able to. Yes, we are.
Hell yeah, we got green blood.
Yeah.
We got green blood. We got green blood.
Yep.
We know.
Oh, shoot. So yeah, if it wasn't Sholmes and it wasn't Windibank, then there must have been someone else there. Right?
Too bad it's not yellow, like an egg. Because Egg's blood is on the disc. It's Eggman. Eggman was here, peeing on the moon or whatever.
All right, let's go for it. Ready to present answers. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands.
So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting.
I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it'll make a difference.
In that case, counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question and the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene?
It's a bloodstain on the calendar. Probably.
Take that!
The evidence is right here, in this portfolio.
By Jove! That portfolio again, is it?
Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. You claim one of those blood samples proves the presence of this third intruder. Well, which one is it?
Well, I mean, to be honest, they're all kind of necessary, but yeah, let's go with that one.
And what am I looking at here? It appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar.
That's a bloodstain, my lord.
A blood stain?
Green blood. Curious, even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some unhuman creature?
It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. By the great detective?
New invention. Stop. Not yet appeared in stores. Stop.
It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. This Fogger spray is a chemical that reacts to the different elements in people's blood to change its color.
Different elements of people's blood.
Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. So, by seeing what color it changes, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is.
Ooh, that brings a whole new dimension to looking at blood.
Talk of blood in courtroom. Stop. Very exciting. Stop.
As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windibank.
Oh, a striking blue.
Yes. So you see, this green color of this blood stain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot and in the main part of the shop.
Now, hold fire there, young man. Could this be from some unrelated incident, couldn't it?
No, it's not unrelated. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windibank was killed.
By golly!
Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day.
I forgot his voice. Then whose blood is it?
Well, The Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries, which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder?
Well,
Apparently someone's like, I don't think you have the bloodstain on the disc because of the something.
no, we definitely sprayed
Okay, cool.
it and did the thing. Either way, I actually can't, I can't get to it at this point anyway, so,
It's true.
you know.
It's true. Crack that egg.
Take that!
The man's name is maybe Eggert Benedict?
Eggert Benedict. Who on earth are you talking about, Counsel?
He paid a visit to Windibank's pawnbroker in the afternoon before the incident took place.
When the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession.
That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Eggert Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. Oh my god.
I know. Think it's cast your mind backwards.
Baroka!
Yes, sir.
I believe this filthy pocket thief was just redeemed an article from you, no?
Oh, yes.
The article in question belongs to me. I demand it to be returned at once.
That's a lie. What are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel, and needless to say,
It's so good.
any music box discs too. Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc.
Can you corroborate this account, Inspector?
Yes, my lord.
That's more or less what happened. In the interest of being thorough, I asked Windibank for a print showing the fella. Taken from one of his red-handed recorder gubbiness.
Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windibank that morning.
And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice.
Well, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin?
I've never seen the geezer before in my life.
All me life, Gov! All me life, I never seen him!
Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion.
I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice.
Yes, and I can.
Oh, Bruno, look, it's blood. Ha time to shine. Gee, jolly Jellica, it's green.
Oh, weird. Oh, maybe it just updated again, like it didn't really update, but it was just doing the thing again. Anyways. Then show us the evidence!
I agree. We must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is.
Ooh, boy. This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial since the very start. But now, I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom.
Are you ready to present your answers to the court then, counsel?
Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. Proof that the man pictured in this photographic print was in fact the person struck by the third bullet.
So apparently the game over caused your evidence to unupdate. And that's why.
Oh.
Ba-ba-ba-bum!
As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windibanks.
Which is when the aforementioned Egbert Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no?
That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred.
Oh, but of course, here's the disc for you.
Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style.
Wait a minute. That disc is mine.
Oh, what do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal.
Hell yeah.
Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions all over its surface. Those protrusions cause Mr. Benedict's fingers to bleed. And the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now.
Goodness, a bloodstain, is it?
My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom.
Using my trusty fogger gun.
Yes. And we added the results to this portfolio. I say.
It's green. It's exactly
Who's
the same
that?
color as the blood around the calendar.
Who's that juror?
Right?
The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Egbert Benedict, who was in Windibanks earlier in the day. Man, when you never really expect to be called out on your fake name, but now you feel kind of silly that you made up such a silly fake name. Is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that night.
So there was someone else.
Look at those two brothers now. They're sweating buckets.
Oi! What are you talking about? It's boiling in here.
My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Egbert Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify.
It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection! This has gone on long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law.
Huh?
Sherlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A god of deduction or some such. And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest court in the land?
I was really wondering if they were just gonna, like, accept all this, if they're gonna call us out on it.
Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color.
Oh, well... Oh, hi.
And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it.
Oh,
Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes' concoction a load of rubbish?
I don't know. I mean, he's a great detective.
What are you talking about? We can't let him get away with that.
Thing is, though, if we get him in here and he has a wound that lines up with, like an injury that lines up with the spatter and stuff,
Ooh, yeah.
then that would prove it.
It would prove it. Hella yeah.
Finished this game a few hours ago, so good.
Ooh.
Excited to start the next one. Enjoyed the madness.
Hey, Biowoman!
Congrats.
Yeah, these games are amazing. It's gonna be nice to play the second one.
Hi, just popping in to say vote for Portal 2. It's a very good game. I'll love you forever if you pick it. It's finally in a poll. I'm a cry.
Dovey!
Thank you.
They're all good games on there.
They are.
They're very good.
We'll take a look at the end and see how things are.
Yeah.
Thank you. I knew it would come to this. Of course, Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body, but what other choice did I have?
I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before.
We called that on day one.
We did.
About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination. In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it?
Good grief! What did you just say, young girl?
And in the summation examination, the decision as to whether or not a trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain people think of certain early inventions. At least, not for now.
Yes, she's right.
Young milady, you have quite the devious mind.
It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you said, Runo. Is that about right, would you say? Or did I misunderstand something?
Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with.
Iris Wilson, sharpshooter.
After that...
Precis? Precis?
Precis?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with,
Precis.
It's wrong. You can sue me.
After that shrewd process of the situation from
Don't
an
actually sue
entirely
us.
unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion.
This is absurd.
I don't think the prosecution's allowed to talk during summation examinations. Well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final leanings in this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. You better. So then, state your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Woo!
Not guilty.
Woo!
Not guilty.
Woo!
Guilty.
What?
Guilty.
Not guilty.
Yay! He not villain, he good guy.
He's a good man. He's a good man. Take him to Crystal Tower.
But surgeon, come on, my dude. We solved your bullet mystery.
2 call guilty and 4 call not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision.
On what grounds?
If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with a judgment of anyone's guilt.
I'm sorry, Lord Von Zeeks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored.
I love how, like, Van Zeeks, I won't stand for this complete, ignorance of the mechanics of law. Also, Von Zeeks, if these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked bullshit, then they don't deserve to be jurors, and I should pick the smarter people.
What?
What?
This trial will continue.
Ugh.
That's right.
Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear it will be impossible.
What?
The name the gentleman gave for himself, Agut Benedict, is quite clearly false.
I don't believe it.
In an Ace Attorney game? No, it's not.
Yeah, right. Perfectly believable.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking to freaking Ringo and Nash over there. Who else we got here? Like, come on. Come on, in a name, you know, you got Pop Win the Bank. You got Male Strongheart.
Male Strongheart.
You know, Barack. My fellow Britons.
My fellow Britons. The farcical nature of this courtroom is
Unacceptable.
is unacceptable. I refuse to believe that these jurors have the mental capacity to do their job.
Just when I managed to prove the man that was there last night.
Could I say something?
Do you think it's Gina?
Who is that, please?
It was me, my lord.
Oh. And Angry says in Japan his name is just Eggs Benedict. Nice. Juror number 5.
And what have you to say, madam?
If possible, Inspector,
Eh? Me, ma'am.
I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me, once again. The one in which the gentleman is shown.
Oh, right, yes. This one, you mean, of Mr. Benedict.
Yes. There's no doubt in my mind.
Juror number 5, you don't mean to say you know this man?
Yes, I know him.
What?
No!
Good gracious!
Woo! And she voted guilty.
I know.
What?
Drama.
Order, order! Juror number 5, how on earth?
I am communications officer. Stop!
As we can clearly see,
The gentleman in the photograph is... Stop! Also a communications officer. Stop! He works in my office. Stop.
I didn't notice the shining in her eyes, like,
Oh, yes. I'm quite excited. I hate that man.
I wonder-
He steals my lunch every day.
I wonder if her eyes are blinking Morse code.
They could be.
I think they are.
A very talented operator, in fact. Stop. He should be in the communication station now. Stop. Tapping away on the telegraph. Stop.
Not what I imagined him doing.
She has the opposite of hate. She loves him.
I love this man. Oh, I wish he would tap me like that.
Doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right.
I suppose we all imagine the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out he has a respectable job by day, or whatever he gets up to at night.
Yes, I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong.
If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Von Zeeks, if you please,
Yes, my lord.
make the necessary arrangements with all haste.
As your lordship bids.
The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson.
Yes, my lord.
I should like to hear from you specifically about the events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess.
Yes, sir, my lord.
Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m.
Well, that's a half an hour from now.
I know.
Great.
I have time to get some water. Be
I
right
guess
back.
so. Oh, you were cereal. Oh, shit. But you're here right now, Essie. And that's all that matters, right? Is now. Boop, 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 boo, doo, boop, boo. Yeah. Can only imagine how long these can go. There's a lot we have to unpack
I
still.
give this game 8 legs out of 10. Van Zeke's legs.
Monosquiven enemy!
Some good legs.
Whenever he does that kick thing, all I can think of was the time that guy axe kicked his desk in half.
Oh, yeah. I think it was Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, yeah.
Jura 4 fans are over.
Monadoof! Yeah, Jura 4.
Surprising.
Surprising.
Shocking, even.
I just am going to assume he didn't hear anything and it was just, you know, being silly.
Oh, Achievement Hunter. Yeah. I can kick through this desk. You can't kick through this desk. Watch me kick through this desk. Oh, it wasn't even his desk. It was Gavin's. Oh, yeah. Gina, how are you holding up? I'm starting to feel quite warmly towards her frequent cold shoulders now.
Ginny! Are you alright? Why aren't you saying anything?
What's the point, eh? Why go through all this trouble and fight so hard for the likes of me?
What?
You saw it? That picture.
What picture?
Oh, you mean this? The photograph taken by Hurley's red-handed recorder? Well, I didn't think it would have captured a scene like this, that's for sure.
It's hopeless. Anyone who sees that's gonna think I did it, ain't they?
Well, I won't pretend it wasn't a bit of shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court.
Surely you've got to have your doubts about me now. You can't still think I'm innocent.
Of course I can.
Ginny, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Bruno's cleverly managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still, we'd really like to hear it from you.
All right then. It was after we had that dinner together at your place, right, Iris? Then we all had that chat up in your office, didn't we?
Yes, I remember.
After that, I just couldn't get to sleep. So I slipped out and we went down to the street. To the 201. The Winterbank's place. I had to know.
If Iris's story was there or not? The Hound of the Baskervilles?
I don't know what is enough, what's about or nothing. But if you ask me, there's something in that Sholmes, in it that Sholmes don't like. Something what people don't want. He don't want people reading. So that's why he lied to Iris about sticking with in lug with Winterbanks for safekeeping. At least that's what I thought at the time.
So you broke into Winterbanks?
I just had to know if it was in there or not. I mean, I had no idea at all it was going to kick off. Did I? I struck the lock and snuck inside. It was dark as you'd like in there. So I gave the oil lamp on the counter a bit of a wick. And that's when...
What do you think you're doing?
Ah! I nearly died, I did. And next thing I knew... I grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving it in the air like... I don't know what.
Ah, you're the girl who was in here this afternoon. I didn't think pickpockets went in for armed robbery.
The manuscript. Have you got it in there? Did Sholmes leave a load of papers with you? A story?
I like this song.
I beg your pardon?
The Hound of... There's something or other. If it's here, I want to see it.
I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers.
I don't want it. What would I do with it anyways? I just want to see it's here is all.
Oh, you want to see it, do you?
I want to know if Sholmes really pawned it here or not. Please, just let me see it and I'll go.
Oh, very well then.
What a nice guy.
But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you?
So then the alcove unlocked the storeroom door, and we both went inside. And it was there all right. The Mattel script. Sholmes weren't lying after all.
You did all that just to check for me, Ginny?
Anyway, and there was a bit of a kick-up out in the main bit of the shop.
The Skulkin brothers arriving on the scene, yes?
What was that noise? Someone's breaking in!
Dear me. Is there some burglars convention here tonight that I don't know about?
I think I forgot to shut the door behind me. Sorry.
I'd better go and take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back?
Oh, well, I'll come with you and...
Now don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room, under any circumstances.
Aww. And with that, I took the gun out of my hands and walked back to the shop. I hung back in the storeroom, like you said, straining my ears in the dark to hear what was going on. It sounded like they got into a bit of a scrap. I started to think I should go see if I should help, but... So I was about to go into the storeroom myself when...
2 bangs.
I had a couple of shots go off. 2, I think. Almost at the same time. And then there was, right at my feet, lying face down on the floor. I was right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it as quick as you like.
Because you thought whoever had shot Mr. Windibank might come for you.
Yeah. So I went to grab the old cove's gun. I figured I'd put up a fight at least. But when I got a better look at him, I knew. Windibank was a goner. I felt funny in my head all of a sudden, kind of dizzy. And after that, I don't remember nothing.
That must be when you passed out, Gina.
If I ain't done what I done, the old cove might still be alive.
Did you tell the police everything you just told us?
Of course I did. They believe a word of it, did they? All they said was if I kept telling lies, it made things worse for me.
It'll be all right, Ginny. Don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer.
It's so odd how deadpan Iris delivers some things.
Right?
Like, there's just something kind of rigid about all of it.
Bruno's about to put the real culprit through the mill.
That cove. Now that cove what was in there the afternoon? That Egget Benedict. I still remember how he looked at me. Like I was nothing.
Ooh.
He was there that night.
We don't know his real name yet, but I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty.
You what?
You can leave it all in Bruno's capable hands now, Ginny.
Mr. Naruodo,
Yes?
how come you trust me? I don't get it. I mean, have you forgotten what happened the year before? Come on, it was only 2 months ago. Me and McGill did. We told you a whole pack of lies. And you got the bog trotter off with him, even though he was a killer.
No. I could never forget that.
Oh,
I did what I thought was best at the time. But the pain of that error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what.
but what if I'm lying? You could be working to get another killer off the hook for all you know.
I haven't worked in 2 months. I was once in your position, Gina. I was the accused in a trial.
You were?
Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. And strange as it might sound, the circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sentenced to 10 years in prison. 10 years? 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 10 years I was sure that no one would believe me if it wasn't me who that it wasn't me who'd done it.
Oh, Runo.
But there was one person who stood up for me, who believed in me and was prepared to defend me. My best friend.
Ryunosuke, no one believes in you more than I do.
Oh.
Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me and I'll do the rest.
I was so happy I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me, I couldn't help thinking, surely, he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely. But I was wrong. As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had an absolute, unwavering belief in me. Boom, boom, boom. And in turn, I developed an absolute, unwavering belief in him. Since then, I came to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first.
What are you saying?
I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry. I won't let you down.
Even though I'm a diver and no good liar?
You're not like McGilded. I know that.
Eh?
That's right. You're our friend, Ginny.
Iris!
We know you better than you think. And we've come to the conclusion that you're someone we can trust.
Yes,
That's really all we need to know.
exactly.
Mr. Naruto, I...
Oh.
We, defendant Gina Lestrade and the legal representative! Court proceedings are about to resume! Please head to the courtroom immediately.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Way to ruin the mood, man.
Yeah.
Whee!
Juror 5 has given us a breakthrough. Stop. A fellow CARMS officer. Stop. And this trial was saved from an abrupt, unjust end thanks to her. Stop.
Stop.
Juror number 5 turning out to be a good girl? Good girl, maybe?
We'll see.
We'll see.
It's a little weird.
In the art book, Juror 5 is said to be a reincarnation of Primstone from Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
D-Nitro!
Hey,
I thought they
she was
looked
familiar.
Yeah, right?
I was like, I feel like I've seen this model before, but yeah.
I think I gave the similar voice to her in that game too.
Brimstone!
Tap game. I can't hold all these feels, my besto friendo, and this poor girl.
Mm-hmm. And Sasato's gone.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. I've been both a defendant and a defending lawyer in my time, so I knew only too well just how hard it was to put all your faith in another. And I also knew just how hard it was to bear the burden of another putting all their faith in you.
Oh, this game is so freaking good.
This is it at last. The final chapter. The final battle. Wish me luck, Sasato-san. I hope you're watching over me too, partner. April 17th. Oh, 1:41 p.m. Oh boy.
I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestrade. Lord Von Zeeks, have you successfully subpoenaed the witness?
The subpoena was delivered to the communications station where the man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem.
Chekhov's rain.
I see. Then let us turn our attention to Inspector Gregson's,
Did we ever get a thing on that?
precis of the case heard by the court this morning. The glaring omission of the third bullet in your report is a serious blunder, Inspector.
Yes, I can only apologize, my lord.
And although the defense's chemical analysis of the blood at the scene makes for a compelling argument, I cannot permit such untried methods to be used as evidence in my courtroom.
Presses? Presses. Got it. Thanks, GD.
It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me. A very big mistake.
Sean!
Me, my lord! The subpoenaed witness has just arrived in the building! Thank you, officer. Please show him to the stand without delay.
Mr. Eggert Benedict.
I can't wait to hear what his actual name is.
All right. It's August Goldstaff.
Ooh, Jason Bourne. That's my guess.
Or Spartacus.
Spartacus.
I didn't expect to be crossing paths with him again so soon. And certainly not like this.
Thank you for complying with the court's subpoena at such short notice, sir.
But of course, my lord, as an upstanding member of London society, it is my pleasure to oblige.
Now, kindly state your name and occupation for the record.
Oh. Ashley Graydon, communications officer.
Mr. Graydon and I both work at London Central Communications Station.
Now, perhaps somebody would kindly explain what all this is about.
You were apprised of the situation by the court officer on your way here, I presume.
Yes, I was. Something to do with a murder that took place at a pawnbroker's on Baker Street, is it? Never heard of it.
Backer Street?
Back Street?
Is his back all right?
And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question.
That is the accusation indeed.
This really is beyond a joke, you know. The fifth Ashley. Calories, that's so good. Scandalous!
What a reference to frickin' Recess.
Amazing reference.
I'm an Ashley.
This is like the best episode.
It was a really good episode.
Very well. Without further delay, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Graydon. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath.
Gladly, my lord. Gladly. The accusation.
Need to pause to share good vibes. Friend got me the Halo Series 10.
Hey!
He is so good, man, and now I owe him special favors.
Spubby, congratulations! That is a
Congrats.
sexual looking Xbox.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
I missed it.
It's pretty freaking cool looking, I'm not gonna lie.
Amazing. Congratulations. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting that I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder? I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene. Some Scaramouche.
Is that Scaramouche?
Scaramouche.
As we do the Fandango, Thunderbolt and Lightning, very, very frightening me. Is that how that's spelled?
I don't know. Detectives homebrewed
tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence. So, you deny the accusation completely, do you? I must say, I am dismayed. For the highest court in the land to be swayed by this self-professed detective's toy.
It was the will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands that the jury's will is upheld.
Then it would seem we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today. By golly. How long am I expected to be detained here? If, following the defense's cross-examination, your involvement in this matter has not been established, you'll be free to leave immediately.
There's nothing more annoying than a witness that really wants to leave.
Yeah, right?
Good. Then I shall be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation at least. Let us not hold up Mr. Graydon any longer than necessary. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination.
So, we meet again, Mr. Eggert Benedict, if that's even your real name. Or is it Mr. Graydon?
My apologies.
You are...
Oh,
Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. We have met.
If you say so. Ashley Graydon. Enchanté.
Do you think twins, Basil? Do you think twins?
twins?
I think he genuinely didn't recognize us.
You think twins?
I think maybe twins. Damn it.
Okay. Are we getting double Parent Trap?
I don't know,
Where we have Nina and Gina being twins, and then we have Ashley Graydon, and we got
Eggert.
Aaron Graydon, twins.
So.
Double Parent Trap.
Oh!
Nice catch.
I trust we can conclude this quickly.
But I am not holding your flashy hat while we do. Cross-examination. This
The
is...
accusation.
I love Ringo's little peeking eye out the
He
side.
just like, oh, that's a pretty looking man right there.
Kind of reminds me of that like Tyler 1 meme.
I hope we get a Tyler 1-esque scenario where he looks that up at him like that. Mom, when my nuggets ready?
Mom said it's my turn on the Xbox.
Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time.
Yes. We even met in the very pawnbrokery where the crime took place on the afternoon in the day in question. Though, of course, you introduced yourself by a different name at the time. It was, Mr. Eggert Benedict, was it?
The witness is here to testify about the events that took place that night. He is under no obligation to answer such unrelated questions.
You can't be serious.
Oh, thank you, because I certainly do not feel inclined to answer such an inappropriate question.
So he's going to be evasive, is he? In an effort to not give away anything. This could be tricky.
Can we check the court record for a second?
Sure.
I just want to see if there's two Eggerts.
Oh, that would be too
Ashley's
much.
twin, Mary Kate.
John!
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Different people playing the same person on TV.
How do I get to people? I don't know if I can get the people.
Oh, sad. Okay.
It says examine presenter back.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
Oopsies.
Hold it!
Have you seen these two men before?
This pair.
They're just so good.
No, I don't associate with criminals.
Said by a man who introduced himself as Eggert Benedict.
I'd like to know who I have to thank for this. Who made this outlandish accusation against me?
The young lawyer there in black.
This is a farce. Whoa. Whose idea was it to permit an outsider to work in a British court anyway? Well, needless to say,
Maybe it's a Hannah Montana Miley Cyrus situation. With his hat on, he's Eggert. When he takes it off, he's just regular old Ash Graydon.
I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation.
Where were you around 1 in the morning on the night in question, sir?
This is past the hour at which I would normally retire. Certainly. I was not in the company of these rapscallions.
And you're able to prove that?
Objection!
Listen carefully, my learned Nipponese friend, for you appear to be under a gross misapprehension of the point.
What do you mean?
The witness maintains he was not at the scene of the crime. He has no obligation to prove his absence. If your accusation is that the witness was present at the scene, the obligation lies with you to prove your assertion.
I'm allowed to ask him if he has an alibi, okay?
You will fulfill that obligation before putting any more unreasonable questions into the witness.
Who died and let you make the rules? Dad, come on, this is dumb.
Ooh.
A silent victory wiggle. Thanks. I swear, there's going to be a moment where we pursue the two over there and they're totally going to give him away. I can feel it.
100%.
I can feel it. I just Ringo's little eye out the side.
Just peeking.
Staring.
He just peeking.
Just peeking. Like, it's got that like air of like curiosity, but also a lot of fear at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
It's very good.
Like looking at the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's me. Just a little victory wiggle, you know, sometimes.
Blood was found at the scene of the crime. There's no question to that. Mr. Sholmes' chemical analysis has positively identified the substance as such.
But I am not the only human to have blood running through my veins. Am I? How can you be sure that the blood is mine? It could equally be the blood of one of these two miscreants.
Every individual's blood has been a slightly different composition, it seems. Mr. Sholmes' chemical is able to differentiate between...
Spare me the science lesson. Who is this Sholmes character anyway?
Oh, I assumed all Londoners would know the name. He's a great... well, a renowned detective.
So even you are unable to bring yourself to say, great detective.
A great detective, you say? We're in the realm of fairy tales, are we?
There it is! There it is!
There he goes.
Remember when Peter Pan ran into that pawnbroker and got shot? Excuse me. Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Skulkin? Eh? What? Me? No, the Mr. Skulkin next to you.
Right, I've had it up to here with this. How many times have I got to tell you?
Yes, I know. You're not Big Bruv Sulky. Jeez. Mr. Nash Skulkin.
God blimey, Governor, you what?
Is it not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, a thought went through your mind? Would you care to share the thought with the court?
Me thoughts? I don't have none of them. It must have been him.
Oh, you what? Mr. Nash Skulkin. Mr. Nash Benjamin Jeremiah Bumblecrack the 23rd Skulkin. Answer the question, please.
Is that my name? Is that my own name?
The third. Fun run for the cure. Good times. Walk race for the world. What went through your mind when Mr. Graydon just spoke?
Nothing. Honestly, nothing. I was just thinking, if he waves his arms around like that much more, it'll open up the wound again, that's all.
Oh! What wound?
Well, he took a bullet, of course. It was only 2 days ago. It ain't going to be sealed up yet. Healed up, sorry. So I was, well, you know, I was worried for him, and... oh, hell's bells. Oh, no.
Do you have anything, like an image you could just plop into his mouth?
Let's see. Image, what are you? No. What about you?
Do you have image 3?
No.
Can you make image 3 dance in his mouth?
No, I don't have image 3. Image 3 died.
Oh, rip.
I don't got any good ones. Here, boink. The real NyanCave is here.
Well, good enough. Mr. Graydon, did you hear that?
What?
Your comrade is worried about you, it seems. On account of your injured arm.
My lord? Yes, Mr. Graydon.
I have no idea what these two wretches are talking about. He's totally setting us up right now. There's no wound there. I can feel it.
It's a tattoo.
Certainly. I shouldn't be expected to answer anything in relation to their mindless insinuations. We know that someone other than the victim was hit by a bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago. And from the height of the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely hit in the upper arm or thereabouts. Perhaps you'd allow the court official to examine your arm, sir? The left arm that you're currently clasping with your right hand, as if it's in pain. Oh, we're being set up so bad right now. Maybe not.
Daga Kotowaru.
No. I refuse. You have shown no evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves, except for that he said you were there. Like a second ago.
Yeah, he did say that, didn't he?
Accordingly, I am not obligated to permit any such invasion of my privacy.
It's a good pose, though.
As I've already said, I'm completely uninvolved in all of this. I've never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery where this fellow was killed whatsoever. I take offense at the insinuation that I was in any way involved.
You claim to have had nothing whatsoever to do with Mr. Winterbank's pawnbrokery.
Yo, prawn
brokery.
Prawn
right?
brokery. New restaurant idea. Write that down.
I've heard, yeah, they mentioned keeping prawns in an aquarium here and stuff, and I was like, I don't know if I could not eat them. I don't know.
I couldn't. If I had to see anything alive and then eat it, no, can't do it.
Clay's egg voice is so good.
Aw.
Romantic face.
Angry!
Thank you. I'm having fun.
They're such good boys in the sense that they are extremely bad at being bad.
I love, like, bumbling bad guys. Like, you know, like, really incompetent henchmen. It's just
So good.
great.
It's one of my favorite tropes as well.
They're a lot of fun.
Sagasi! Thanks for being a golden waffle.
And
I started
cheers,
your raffle a little early, but for anyone who didn't know, you can get in now.
I want there to be a way out mod, but it switches the two protagonists with these two.
With Nash and Ringo, hell yeah.
My lord, the defense would like that last statement to be added to Mr. Graydon's formal testimony.
Very well, counsel. Continue with your testimony, Mr. Graydon.
Ashley Graydon.
Ash gray. Ash gray. It's a color.
Hold it!
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Don't forget, sir, that Mr. Herlock Sholmes is the most famous detective in the world. And the most famous detective in the world tells the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Oh no. I can't think of how to answer that.
I once saw the world's most famous swindler thrown into jail. He allegedly told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but what turned out to be a pack of lies.
Quite. Now, as you are no doubt aware, the Central Communications Station is the heart of this country's information network. That's how he knew about the secret government stuff. My work there is of paramount importance, and you have kept me from it for long enough already.
Juror number 5's like, it ain't stopping me.
Right.
Sounds like you're just making up frickin' excuses.
The bottom line is, I never had anything to do with the pawnbrokering establishment where the man was killed.
Hold it!
Never had anything to do with it. You forget that I was there, Mr. Graydon, on the very afternoon of the incident. Obviously, I am not a complete stranger to the pawnbrokers. I'm currently on the lookout for an armchair to furnish my study. No, you were there to redeem an article. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Is that right?
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Do you have something to add, Inspector?
Eh? Oh, come again, sunshine.
You were there too, in fact, weren't you, Inspector? That afternoon.
Well, yes. I do remember meeting yourself in the pawnbrokers that afternoon. You, your young Japanese assistant, and the accused were all present, as I recall.
And at the time, this witness, Mr. Graydon, was trying to acquire a particular article.
Well now, I'm afraid I don't remember too clearly.
Whoa.
What? But you must!
I'm not gonna lie and pretend that I remember something if I don't.
Whoa.
What's going on here? You couldn't forget that guy.
Greg, she showed us a picture before, didn't he?
Ashley looks like he would hang out with the swan, and they would just like get along swimmingly.
Brett?
Yes.
You know, from the cameras that Hurley installed in Winterbanks.
Yes, of course.
Indeed, and the gentleman pictured bears a striking resemblance to the witness, I must say.
Exactly, which proves that Mr. Graydon was in the shop on the afternoon in question. At no point have I denied that fact. I merely entered the shop to peruse the articles on sale and to have a word with the broker. Nothing more. This makes no sense. I understand why Mr. Graydon might be trying to cover up his tracks. But why would Gregson be trying to avoid giving testimony about what happened? That's all he's going to say on the matter, is it?
What do you think, Runo?
I think he has no intention of telling us anything. He's well aware that the less he says, the less chance he has of giving himself away.
The complete opposite of Hurley, then. He seems to think that the more he says, the better.
Well, at least I managed to prise a little more information from these witnesses' lips. All thanks to the Skulkin brothers.
Yes, they were the key to this after all.
So he says he had nothing to do with Windibanks. Well, we know that's not true.
Perhaps now would be a good time to have a proper look through the court record.
Good idea. You never know what tiny scrap of information could become a valuable weapon.
Like a paper.
Man, I really do believe in the judge. But when the guy's like, oh man, I thought that after he'd be shot in the arm, he'd be a bit sore. And the judge is like,
Well, it seems legit. Can't make him take his jacket off.
Yes, you can. Turn the heat up.
yeah, right?
Turn the heat up.
Because like you could just save so much time.
Ashley
Okay,
Graydon is likely a play on Ash Gray. Also, his initials is AG, atomic symbol for silver.
Like his suit,
1/3.
almost.
That's clever.
His Japanese name is Robert Crogley. Crogley is a play on Kuro Gray, Black Gray. 2/3.
Ah, yeah, Kuro.
Krogri.
His alias is obviously a pun on Eggs Benedict, but in Japanese it's even more obvious, as it was Egg Benedict.
I am Egg.
3/3.
Your name is Egg? I am Egg.
TBD.
I gotta go to the
Thank
bathroom.
you.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I really thought it'd be something easy, like, you know, I never had anything to do with the pawnbroker, and then just, you know, hitting him with the picture and be like, excuse me. I guess we didn't even get that one in evidence. Weird. Okay. Was it this one? I'm just gonna see what happens at the end of the other one.
Objection!
Listen carefully. Accusations, observations. You will dance.
Shimmy. Oh.
Hold it!
Oh, fascinated by this thumbnail. Who needs sleep? Someone said is this thumbnail is Speed Luigi reference. Yes, actually it is.
Oh wow. What's Speed Luigi?
It's the thing Vinny made.
Oh.
I was gonna make it even more obvious, but I was like, nah.
That's funny. They've updated it so that it's actually Egbert Benedict here.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna play a thing.
Oh yeah.
Be okay! Thank you for being one of us. I did very good.
Maybe I do just present. I don't actually have the image of it. Maybe I present the disc. You know what? I'm gonna do it because I think that's what. Yeah. I'm gonna start here and then we'll
see what happens.
Perfect. Have you ever seen this disc before, Mr. Graydon?
Why? Is it supposed to mean something to me?
This disc was, until the day of his murder, in pawn in Mr. Windibank's shop. It was redeemed by the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, that afternoon. However, somebody mysteriously appeared to try to take it from her.
It's not a musical disc at all.
It's a
telegraphic message. That's why. He's a communications man. Holy shit.
And that somebody was you, of course. Wasn't it, Mr. Graydon? As I have reiterated numerous times now, you are mistaken. That was not me. I've never seen that disc before in my life. It may have escaped your notice, but there's a small, smear of blood on the disc.
Oh, yes, resulting from an abrasion of the thumb, perhaps.
That's right. The surface of the disc is covered in hundreds of tiny metal bumps. In the skirmish to acquire the disc, the thumb of the person who tried to take it suffered minor lacerations. So, while the disc bears the remnants of that skirmish in the form of this smear of blood, the thumb of the person in question must bear the remnants also, in the form of a scratch.
Good gracious. Indeed it must.
So, Mr. Graydon, you refused to allow a court officer to examine your arm before. Are you now going to refuse to allow us to examine your thumb? Because I have no doubt that it bears a small scratch consistent with the smear of blood on this disc. Well. It would seem I have underestimated you.
What is the meaning of this?
So you admit it now. You admit to have a scratch, you admit you have a scratch on your thumb from when you attempted to take the disc from the defendant. Ooh.
Order. Well, Mr. Graydon.
It would appear that there has been something of a misunderstanding here. I did not attempt to take the disc, as you put. No. Quite reverse. What are you trying to say? It's really quite simple, you see. The disc was mine from the outset. Is there some crime in taking an item that you own out of pawn? What?
It would seem, Mr. Graydon, that in this piece of evidence my learned friend has established a link between yourself and the incident. Accordingly, you will tell the court everything you know about this disc now.
As you wish. Though I'm quite sure it has nothing whatsoever to do with the pawnbroker's murder.
The disc.
There's a note on the disc saying, "For McGilded," but that item belongs to me.
Oh yeah, that works for me whenever I go into people's houses at Christmas time and it says, "This is for Timmy," and I'm like, no, it's actually for me. Sorry. It's really confusing, I understand, but...
Yoink. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy gutterling, on the day in question.
That's what I call their children. I'm like, oh, filthy gutterling, get out of here. It's my present. Oh, frick yeah, Cabbage Patch Kids.
Well, by the same logic of Ace Attorney, I guess they'd be like, well, Timmy passed away 2 days ago in a carriage fire, so I guess we don't need him. It's fucked up, Nyan. That's fucked up.
Jeez.
I mean, hey, you went there.
Me? It was me. I went there.
Yeah. I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night.
Did I hear you correctly, sir? McGilded, you say? The famous London philanthropist.
Timmy, no!
who perished in this very courtroom 2 months ago after being acquitted of a distinctly messy murder.
Yes, my lord. The one and the same.
Good Lord, Mr. Graydon! Are you saying that McGilded and yourself were acquainted?
Yes. That's correct.
Order! Well, I certainly didn't expect to hear that name uttered here in my courtroom again. Here.
According to what Gina told us, this disc was placed at pawn on that fateful night 2 months ago. McGilded himself gave instructions to deposit it at Windibanks.
It's funny that Mr. Graydon here is claiming the disc belongs to him, isn't it?
In all likelihood, he's lying. So he appeared that afternoon at Windibanks in order to get his hands on Mr. McGilded's disc for some reason.
Counsel, you will commence your cross-examination, please.
There's a note on the disc saying, for McGilded, but the item belongs to me.
Hold it!
Would you care to explain how this belongs to you? As you will observe, a communications officer such as myself commands a fine salary.
Wow, la-di-da.
You are certainly exquisitely dressed, sir.
So you see, I have little need to make use of the services provided by a pawnbrokery trade. However, I did once find myself in difficulties, having misplaced my purse whilst on an errand, which is why I pawned my fine black overcoat to the broker in question.
It doesn't fit you.
Interesting.
Hey, but if we get him to put the overcoat on, he has to take his other one off.
Ooh. You claim that overcoat was yours? Obviously. And in my haste, I clean forgot that the music box disc was in its pocket.
And yet there is a note on it that reads for McGilded.
I am a collector of rare and unusual music box music.
Oh, what kind of music box does this go in then?
One from Galderland.
Galderland? At this time of year, in this courtroom.
Shall I play you a ditty? I first met Mr. McGilded at a gentleman's club in the city, and was interested to discover that he shared my penchant in that area.
So the disc in question...
It's a pre-production sample. I promised to let Mr. McGilded hear it.
But then you forgot that it was in the pocket of the overcoat you were forced to pawn.
Yes, exactly.
Gina didn't mention any of that in her testimony 2 months ago, did she?
No, because McGilded had threatened her to keep her mouth shut. Which means that if we dig too deeply here, it's going to expose Gina's perjury.
Oh dear, this is complicated, isn't it?
Let's leave it alone for the time being.
Ryunosuke. I will out the truth no matter what. Also Ryunosuke. Maybe we shouldn't, accuse the defendant just yet.
Yeah. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy gutterling, on the day in question.
Hold it!
So you're saying that Miss Lestrade lifted the ticket from your pocket or bag?
Was that a Knight's Tale reference, Clay? Wow.
It was.
Adam! Holy shit,
it's one of my
Gilderland,
favorite-
of course.
Galderland.
Galderland.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies ish. I watch it every now and again. It's
a good time.
It's really campy. It's not a great movie by any means, but I enjoy it a lot. It's
It's a solid, perfect movie, 5 out of 7.
It's like a weird Renaissance fair sports anime.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're saying that Miss Lestrade lifted the ticket from your pocket or bag? That's right. Despite being mindful of danger when walking in the insalubrious areas. Insalubrious areas. Her kind frequent.
Objection!
It is a Heath Ledger movie. It's really good. Miss Lestrade did no such thing. Well, of course you would take that stance, but the girl is a regular offender. You came to the prawns. You came to the pawn brokery that day prepared with all the information you needed to identify the defendant. You were looking for her, and that's what brought you to Windibanks. To get your hands on Mr. McGilded's disc.
Objection!
My learned friend is a veritable font of nonsense.
Nonsense?
I concur with the prosecution. Counsel, you will refrain from conjecture in this way. Is that clear?
Yes, my lord. Then I will continue with my testimony, for what possible use it could be. I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article.
Hold it!
Had you ever been to Windibanks before? Only once, for the purposes of pawning something, but like many, I enjoy browsing in such establishments.
So when you noticed that the pickpocket had taken your ticket, you chased after her. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. I didn't notice at first, of course. Such is the art of a pickpurse. But when I did, I headed to the pawn brokery at once, in order to reclaim my coat before the thief could. I was merely trying to recover what was rightfully mine in the first place. He can say what he likes because he knows we have no evidence to contradict him on this. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police.
Hold it!
Yes. It was taken by Inspector Gregson here, wasn't it? That's right. This was the very man. Apparently, the police are collecting anything that has a connection to Mr. McGilded as evidence.
Excuse me!
What are you thinking about?
Is something wrong, Inspector?
Oh, what'd you mean?
The last remark that Mr. Gray had made in his testimony seemed to trouble you in some way.
Yeah? Oh, no. No, it didn't. That's nothing. Leave it alone.
Let me ask you this, Inspector. Why is Scotland Yard gathering Mr. McGilded's possessions?
I can't tell you something like that, Sunshine.
What is it, Inspector? Investigative secrets.
Oh, yes, exactly. You should know all about that.
Magnus McGilded, who died so unexpectedly after his trial 2 months ago.
Is this not the same world where the prosecutors have, like, complete control over the investigators?
I guess not.
Damn it.
A man renowned throughout the capital for his great contributions to public life. Yet he had a dark side too.
Can you love me? Can you love mine?
Everybody has a dark side. Can you love me? Can you love mine? Everybody gets drunk on wine every once in a while. And now's it's my time.
Where are you going with this, Van Zieks?
Whoa.
I suppose the police are dealing with the aftermath of his nefarious activities, are they?
Oh, that's enough. Coppers like me have a duty to carry out that we're not at liberty to talk about. That's all you need to know.
Duties conferred by Lord Strongheart, I presume. The Lord Chief Justice appears to have great faith in you, Inspector.
Uh-oh.
The bottom line is, if you want to get more out of me, you're gonna need Lord Strongheart's paw print first.
Lord Strongheart's a furry.
Nice. What's all that about? It's like there's something going on between Gregson and Lord Von Zeeks here.
It's called chemistry. Look it up.
Well, it would appear that the inspector has revealed all he is at liberty to reveal. Mr. Graydon, let us return to your testimony.
Gladly, my lord.
Pointing out an obvious is not shaming, my friend.
In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night. But perhaps you'd seen something of value among the forfeited items. No, not at all. Oh.
A valuer was brought in by the police to assess everything in the shop. Without exception, every article on the shelf was common or garden bric-a-brac.
If only we left the Stradivarius there. Well, in that case, it's clear that you broke into the shop later that day in order to recover Mr. McGilded's disc. Have you not been listening, man? Even if I had wanted to recover the disc, you may recall that it had been seized by the police that afternoon. It was no more in the shop that night than I. As I keep saying, I simply had no reason to break in.
No reason.
So there was nothing of McGilded's left in the shop that night. Nothing this man might have been after. I wish the note said McGilded's one of two or something.
Right? Like, the thing is, I bet it's in Susato's book because she's a treasure of she's a treasure.
I wonder if that's really true.
Bruno, if you have some evidence, then let him have it. I'm dying to see that irritatingly assured expression of his crumble.
Mr. McGilded slipped the disc into his coat pocket and had it deposited at Windibank's. Then, when he realized he was going to be arrested on suspicion of the omnibus murder, he threatened Gina and forced her to take the redemption ticket.
There's no doubt about it. That witness is lying through his pearly white teeth.
The police were obviously after anything left behind by McGilded as well. That's why Inspector Gregson ended up taking the disc into custody that day.
But Gregsy's being very strange about all this.
There must be a reason for that, I'm sure. I just don't know what it is. For now, I need to focus on exposing the fact that Mr. Graydon is lying in his testimony.
I just want to see this man cry. It's because the science she uses needs man tears.
I need man tears for my science.
Yeah, Susato's notes didn't have too much in it, did they?
No. No, they did not.
Stab wound, eyewitnesses, blah, blah, blah. Scotland Yard, Windibank's pawnbrokery, gun, picture, stereoscope. Disc.
Or McGilded.
Boom, bum, boom, bum, boom, bum, boom, bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum.
We would have seen the disc if it was just lying around, right?
Right? Well,
Because
like,
I know there was a second disc.
the cat pictures. What were on the cat pictures again?
Ah, you're right. One small box. I wish I could read. Oh, I learned to read. Is this what reading is like? Oh my god. Mr. Windibank appears to have used the back of this. He's written it very neatly, but still, perhaps he ran out of paper, so he had to use anything he had on hand. It's hard to know what's the front and what's the reverse side now.
Dear Diary, I can't find my diary, so I'm writing this on the back of my Kung Fu Panda 2 DVDs. That's all I can think of when I see two of these two things.
Mr. Windibank appears to have used the back of this photograph to write out a redemption ticket. He's written it very neatly, but still, perhaps he ran out of paper, so he had to use anything he had on hand. It's hard to know what's the front and what's the reverse side now.
Yeah, so I think we should throw the one with the box. Because that's saying it's a small box.
It was redeemed on April 13th, though.
redemption deadline. So it was out in the shop as of the day of the murder.
Right, and they couldn't find the box. Did it say whose signature this is? Is this McGilded on the bottom, or is that Windibank?
That's a question I don't know the answer to.
Because it doesn't look like any of those names.
It doesn't look like a letter, a word at all. It's like when you try to handwrite minimum.
Minimum. Well, I guess our best bet is to send that, really.
Hell yeah.
Box coat.
Box coat. Box.
Objection.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe it. I mean, it's like the only thing we had, but like, I'm really curious to how this is gonna get worded. This disc was deposited at Windibank's on Magnus McGilded's instructions. You knew that, and you went there with the intention of obtaining it for yourself.
Objection.
Conjecture again. And in any case, the disc was taken into custody by the police that afternoon. The witness had no reason to visit the pawnbrokery again that night.
Objection.
Sorry, my learned friend,
Rude.
but that's not true.
What?
For McGilded had another article in pawn at Windibank's, as this second pawnbroker's ticket proves. There were 2 articles belonging to Mr. McGilded in Windibank's pawnbrokery, and the reason you broke into that shop that night was to recover the second one. Together with your 2 accomplices, the Skulkin brothers. Oh.
This is the second ticket, is it?
What had the man deposited?
The article description reads, 1 small box.
Obviously not your mother.
Yeah, it's a rather vague description to be true. But that might be out. Oh, forget it.
Are you suggesting that I broke into the So good. Are you suggesting that I broke into the pawnbrokery with these clowns in order to steal some trinket box? I believe there are adequate grounds to suspect that you did. This is absurd! Why on earth would I do such a thing? Once the article had been forfeited, I could simply walk into the shop and purchase it. There'd be absolutely no need for me to resort to theft. That's a good point.
Indeed, the witness makes a solid argument.
So that means that for some reason, this Graydon fellow needed a small box that very night, does it?
Objection.
It's time to put an end to this nonsense, my lord.
Could you be a little less cryptic, Lord Von Zeeks?
Never.
I thought I'd try.
I do hate to ruin my learned friend's argument, but the truth is quite incontrovertible. On the night in question, no small box was taken from Windibank's pawnbrokery. And rest assured, the prosecution can prove it.
Uh-oh. What?
Good gracious!
Inspector, show the photographic print to the court, if you please.
Oh, yes, sir.
What prints?
These prints were taken from one of the detective's security cameras.
Ah, Hurley's red-handed recorders again.
As previously explained using this plan of the shop layout.
You know, for the amount that they kind of bashed Hurley's, blood smoke, they're really leaning on these red-handed recorders.
Right?
You know?
Sherlock Holmes is a twit and an idiot. Now here, let us use the prints from his ingenious machinery. The victim's establishment was furnished with automatic cameras in 2 locations. One was set to capture the counter where Mr. Windibank received his customers, and the other was set to capture the shelves on which articles were placed for sale once forfeited.
According to the information on this ticket, McGilded's small box had been forfeited already. 2 days before the incident at 9 p.m. on 13th of April to be precise, which means it would have been on the shelves of forfeited items at the shop front. And now, what I have here is a print taken by one of the cameras about 2 hours before the incident. That's at 11 p.m. on 15th of April. Certainly had a very full shop, it would appear.
I mean, they're just photos. Oh, yeah? But those photos have timestamps, and they're really believing those timestamps, and those timestamps are being put in the photos at regular intervals.
Ooh.
You can put any time on there.
Ooh.
We could take a picture of a year ago and be like, actually, no one was shot there because this picture was taken yesterday, according to the red-handed recorder.
Ooh.
Ba-bam. And how do we know they're firing at the right time?
Ooh.
I mean, you know,
what if he didn't wind up
broken
his
clocks
cameras?
and stuff, right?
Ooh.
There.
Oh, yeah.
And then here we have another print. This one was taken at about 2 hours after the incident.
I cannot wait to cross my eyes.
I see. So we have two pictures to compare.
Here we go.
No, I must say that placing them side by side leaves me cold.
Did you find it already?
Absolutely. It's a little cylindrical box next to the stereographic thing, between the stereographic thing and the horse.
It was moved.
It was moved. It jumps right out at you, as if it's trying to get into my eyeballs.
Well, great, Nyan. Now we have to go through 50 minutes of dialogue to learn something you just spoiled for us.
No, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. You're welcome, chat.
Dear me, that's starting to make my head ache.
Hi.
Obviously, at Scotland Yard, we considered theft as one of the possible motives in the case. We explored the possibility that something had been taken in addition to the victim's life. So your men have already compared these two prints thoroughly, Inspector? Yes, sir. We counted every single item in each of these two photographic prints.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. So when you look at the thing, it's like very clearly moved.
And the yard's conclusion is that is that exactly the same number are present in both.
In other words, nothing was taken from the pawnbrokery on the night in question. And my learned friend's assertion is nothing more than hopeful fantasy.
Wrong!
Ah, no!
I don't believe it! If I could have just shown that he'd stolen McGilded's pawned box.
Yeah.
I might have been able to break him down at last.
You know what, Runo? I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna shoot him right in the face. I've been thinking. I wonder if these two photographs really are exactly the same.
I love how she already knows, but she leads us to discover the things.
That's how you have to do it, because it makes you feel like a special boy when you think about it with your brain all by yourself.
Ooh. Yay.
Yay.
What?
So, counsel, in the light of the evidence put forward by the prosecution, what is your position? It seems that, in fact, on the night in question, nothing was stolen from the victim's establishment. Do you accept the prosecution's assertion?
I don't know. Could there be some hidden discrepancy in these two photographic prints somewhere? Oh, use a piece of evidence. Oh, very interesting.
Very interesting.
I'll point out the discrepancy and see where that leads us. I wasn't sure at first, but there is a clear discrepancy between these two prints.
What?
You must identify the location in question for the court, counsel. Indicate the precise location of the discrepancy of which you speak.
Take that! Granted, these two prints are almost identical. However, there's one minor discrepancy between them.
What?
Oh, the machine. Oh, that's what that's for. When you view the two pictures stereoscopically. Oh! A single area stands out as being different. The location of this small box.
Let me wait. Unbelievable.
Much like this. Is this what we avoided?
Looking so cool like that.
So cool. When Santa gets the naughty and nice lists mixed up.
By Jove, you're right. How extraordinary.
What this tells us is very simple. Mr. McGilded's small box was indeed not stolen from Windibanks on the night in question. However, there can be no doubt that somebody picked up this particular box and then returned it to its place on the shelves.
Are you suggesting that the small box originally deposited by Mr. McGilded is in fact...
Yes, the very same small box I just identified in those photographic prints.
Objection!
Mindless guesswork. What if it was? So a box was moved on the shelf. Nothing was stolen, which means quite simply that nothing has changed.
It's true.
Prove that nothing was stolen.
That may be true. But, all right, McGilded's box wasn't stolen then. But doesn't the fact it was moved like that change things?
It changes everything. It's not about the box. It's about what's in the box. What's in the box?
What's in the box? I believe this changes everything about the case.
How can that possibly be?
I don't know. The crucial point is the fact that what was moved was a small box. In other words, we have to consider what might have been inside that box.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that we need to examine that box as soon as possible. A vital piece of evidence is sitting on the shelves at Windibanks as we speak.
Objection!
That won't be necessary. Some little box belonging to a man who died 2 months ago can't possibly be relevant to this trial.
The court does not uphold your objection, Lord Von Zeeks.
That was great.
Bailiff, arrange for an officer to go to Baker Street at once. Obtain the small box in question and bring it back here for further examination.
Man, sometimes in Ace Attorney's game or in Ace Attorney games, they use the same like word over and over again, like pawnbroker, and it's just pawnbroker all the time. And this has been the small box arc.
Yeah, small box.
I think I've said small box like 20 times in the last like 10 minutes.
Yeah, small box.
Small box. It's starting to sound weird. I've said it so much.
Right? Isn't that weird about any word though?
Mm-hmm. Spoon.
Fork. Wunk.
Quick sip here.
A little sip of water.
Tiny container. I like that.
We should have a report within the half an hour. I think perhaps we should recess for a short while until the evidence is brought forth.
To be hoodwinked by such a farce. Disappointing!
I beg your pardon, Lord Von Zeeks.
This is nothing but a smokescreen. A Nipponese speciality, it would seem.
What are you trying to say?
My learned friend has persisted with the same line of reasoning from the very beginning. That this witness's intent was to steal an article belonging to Mr. McGilded from a pawnbrokery. Yet common sense tells us that none of the articles have value enough to be worth stealing in the first place.
Exactly. It would be beyond absurd to break into a place for the purpose of stealing such a commonplace property.
If your lordship recalls, Mr. McGilded perished 2 months ago immediately after the conclusion of his trial. A trial in which he was found not guilty. A trial in which it was established he was the upstanding member of society his reputation implied, in fact. So I propose a toast to my learned friend and his most insightful defense.
The articles this upstanding member of society pawned were entirely ordinary. A black overcoat that just happened to have a music box disc in one of its pockets and a small box. I assure you, I wouldn't accept even if the man tried to make a gift of such things to me.
You know, that does make rather a lot of sense.
That does make a lot of sense. It's
It's not as if it was gold or jewels, was it? Thank goodness. Who knows, Mr. McGilded was rich enough.
But you can't deposit cash at a pawnbrokery.
Prosecution's argument is undeniably compelling.
It is incumbent on the defense now to bolster its argument.
Damn you and your motive arguments, prosecution. When will you learn? When will you learn? Ah!
To explain what possible significance these commonplace articles pawned by this fine citizen could have.
But they don't have a motive.
Bastards.
He's trying to get us to say that McGilded was a bad man and that we're a bad lawyer for
Yeah.
making him innocent.
Well, counsel, is your argument, in fact,
This is a word that always gets me.
demonstrable?
Demonstrable.
Demonstrable.
Yeah, baby.
You're a monstrable.
Thank you. Only in the bedroom.
I'll see you and my small box later this evening.
As you wish, my lord.
Are you able to show proof that the disc or the box are in any tangible way related to this case?
Well,
What's the matter, Bruno? We know that they're related, don't we? They're both pieces of vital evidence.
yes, of course. And you and I both know that. We know McGilded's true character, and we know the disc is significant, even if we don't know why. But if we explain all of that to the court at this point, we'll have to acknowledge that McGilded's acquittal 2 months ago was a mistake. That the defense's argument was flawed, based on false information.
Oh
And that would mean admitting that Gina committed perjury. It's a little bit better than murder.
yeah, out of the two. Especially if you're being coerced into perjury.
Mhm.
Like, hey.
no! But Ginny!
Could it be that Von Zeeks knows? Is that why he's doing this now? Because he anticipated everything?
Keikakudori.
Yeah.
But maybe... this could be a great opportunity for us.
Sorry? What do you mean, Iris?
Well, what is it that you always say, Bruno? Sooner or later, the truth comes out. Every time.
Oh. She's so observant. All right. The exact significance of the things that McGilded deposited with Mr. Windibank is something that only Gina can explain to the court. But if I put her on the stand to testify about that, it could critically damage our chances of winning this case. What's the right thing to do here?
Do the next right
Leave it.
thing.
Leave it. Leave it for tomorrow, that is.
Leave it for tomorrow. No.
I know.
Yes. Gosh, this game is good.
It's a good game.
Gosh, this game is good.
Good game. It's a good story. It's a good time. Villain didn't say anything.
Nothing.
Not a single word.
Not even a single word of Russian.
And he's ballistics expert.
I know.
Thank you for being here. We have next time. Oh, actually, we're doing some Neo Tui stuff after this. It took me like probably 8 hours with like a break in between to do all the Tui stuff for the secret ending. That was some stuff that they make you do. But I did it. And I saved some fun stuff for you guys. So we're gonna check out some bonus stuff. And that's that's gonna be good. What I learned so far, I learned that Jinx Defense 2 is the best skill in the game, basically. Yeah, I did it all. Yeah, I was up most of the night. Well, not like, you know, most of the night. I didn't finish until like 11:30. In this, yeah, ish. Yeah. So I guess that's more like, yeah, no, it was about, sorry, 5 or 6 hours. I exaggerated a little bit. When do you usually go to bed? I try to be in bed by midnight. Go to bed at midnight. Wake up at like 8 or 9. Mostly 9. Roll around. Bed for a while. What do you expect of the box? I think the box is probably a music box. It might be the music box. It might have had the other disc in it because they mentioned a second disc that we're kind of glossing over right now. So I assume it either held that disc or it actually plays the music, which may be Morse code. I don't know. But yeah, that was kind of fun. What time is it over here? It is 2:32. And it's midnight where you are, Joni? That's 10 hours. Damn. Now that you start Yakuza again, I'll have to stay up later. Sorry, Haiti. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I forgot to mention. I knew I had something to do. There is a vote. There's a link in the description down below to check out the next game, or vote for the next game that we're going to play after this one until we continue the second part of this series. It's just the YouTube link right there. And let's see how things are going. Ooh, wow. How unexpected. That is insane. Oh,
Tell me about it.
Oh my God.
Tell me about it, stud.
Yeah. So let's go from last place to first because it's more exciting that way.
Okay.
Last place, unfortunately, is not a surprise. You guys just hate fun. Lego Lord of the Rings is last.
Boo!
And there's over 1,000 votes in so far. So
Boo!
So thank you. Lego Lord of the Rings,
Boo.
last place, with 9%. At 18%, you know, which it's a big difference. But Portal 2, single player, is second last. Up at 21%, third place is Mario Sunshine.
Everyone loves a sunshiny day because clean is better than dirty.
I thought that would be one of the front runners. In second place, very closely, is Doki Doki Literature Club plus Sonic Adventure. Sorry, Doki Doki Literature Club plus Sonic Adventure. I didn't even realize I did that. Plus. At 23%. And then pretty far ahead at 29% is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Bum 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 ba da ba da bum ba da ba. All those games are good. I just expected Lego Lord of the Rings to have like a little bit more. I was hoping it was going to be like a 5-way tie, you know?
You know what it is?
What?
You know what it is?
What?
It's like when your dad takes you to GameStop or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, Clay, you can either get the golf game or you can get Final Fantasy VII. And you know that your dad actually wants the golf game and he just wants you to pick that game and doesn't want to buy 2 games, you know? So you pick the game you really want, knowing that he's going to buy the golf game anyway. So what I'm trying to say is they know we're going to play Lego Lord of the Rings anyway.
We're going to play it one day.
Okay.
We're going to play it one day.
The competition was too tough. I almost went for Lego Lord of the Rings.
Don't feel bad about your vote. Vote with your heart.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't even listen to me if I'm booing you.
That's the whole point.
Screw it.
Yeah.
Do what you put the vote that you want in.
Make
Because
any
honestly,
chance.
I'm going to be happy with any of these.
It's not going to happen, but could you imagine?
Yeah.
Lego Lord of the Rings is like barely playable? What? No way. I thought all those games were fine. Is it? Is it just the Star Wars ones that are good? Yeah, Luminous. I'll probably look into the patches. I patched Sonic Adventure 2, but that didn't go very well.
You just low-key admitted to being internet dads.
Hey there, kids. It's your internet dad here. I hope you're having fun watching your tic-tacs and doing your dances. I don't mean to be a sussy bussy.
If it's barely playable, that's even better. Yeah, and we'll play multiplayer on that too, because I think those games are usually at least 2 players.
Lego?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's up to 4.
Yeah, right. Oh, maybe we should get Tom back for that one.
Yeah.
We lost our Legolas.
Return of the King.
Oh shit. Oh fuck, that makes me oh yeah, of course I'm Gimli. Oh yeah. So that makes Tom Aragorn. Yeah, and that makes you Legolas.
I'm Legolas?
Yeah.
Dang, thank you.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say I was Gollum, and I was like, I was waiting for it.
I mean, out of the 3 options, that would make me Gimli then.
Wait, can I be Merry or Pippin?
Sure, when we switch over to that part, I guess.
Freaking nice, ooh.
Merry and Pippin. You're right. I'd be Frodo, and Tom would be Sam.
That makes me Gollum in that threesome.
Perfect. Yeah, that works. All right. Well, that's enough of that. So yeah, Tom ain't Boromir.
Oh,
Man, Boromir is like my favorite meme in within Lord of the Rings. There are just so many good like Boromir interactions because their dad hates Boromir so much.
he hates Faramir.
I know. I saw a really funny one where I think Faramir's like, "Oh, father, it's my birthday," and he's like, "What do you want? A congratulations? At your age, your brother was at least 3 years older."
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, he would say that.
He would say that. But father, I'm only 3 years old.
At your age, your brother was 6.
Very funny. Anyways, we'll see you soon for Neo 2. Bye.
Bye, I love you. Bye. Bye.